This video is brought to you by Gamegenic, but more on that in a moment. I largely ignore Secret Lair drops because there's too many fucking Secret Lair drops. It feels like every other Monday I have some sort of new FOMO-related thing related to an anime I've never seen, or a new selection of novelty basic lands linked to my birth date or the healing power of crystals. And to be honest, that's the best way forward for me and for a lot of people, just to ignore this shit. So that's my biggest positive about the Monster Hunter Secret Lair drop, is that it wasn't mechanically unique. I think when things are mechanically unique, it asks you a certain element of having to care, because this is the only example of that card in all of Magic. I love Sonic the Hedgehog coming to Magic. I love a bit of retro game mashup. I'm a big Smash Bros fan, but the fact that they're mechanically unique still has a little bit of a bugging element for me, because how are we going to reprint Sonic the fucking Hedgehog into Magic? Next time we go back to Bloom Bros, there's going to be a legally distinct, obnoxious corn dog eating, is it corn dog or chili dog? Chili dog eating hedgehog. Legally distinct Sonic is my name, and going reasonably fast with the haste mechanic is my game. So let's proceed that all up front. These aren't mechanically unique, and for the most part that's a good thing because you can ignore them. Ultimately, they don't really matter in the grand scheme of how you engage with the hobby. That said, if you're a massive Monster Hunter fan and you've been waiting for the Universes Beyond that really grips you, and then this comes out and it's the absolute flop that it is, well, that's kind of its own problem, right? All that and a Soul Ring that just doesn't look like a fucking Soul Ring in today's video. But first, can I show you some of the sexiest deck boxes on the market? This is the Gamegenic Stronghold 200 Plus XL, and look at this color scheme, kids. Look at it. Oh my days. I'm not making it up when I say this is probably the sexiest deck box that I own. A Gamegenic exclusive, you've got the quality of Gamegenic, you've got this richness of color. I know I'm doing like a sales pitch here, but I mean it when I say, I can't put this back in while I talk to camera. I was putting it back in the, instead of like this, I was putting it in like this. And that doesn't work. And I was like, I don't want to make it look like it's hard to put things into a Gamegenic product on camera, because that would be harmful towards my sponsors. But it is difficult if you're an idiot like me. But these game boxes are gorgeous. All of my Commander decks are in these. You have these tighter, compact ones. They have almost like a denim finish to them, and I love them. And my party box is in a game castle. This is a game castle. This isn't my party box. This is my Riftbound collection. What I'm basically doing is trying to self-contain games that I'm going to play a small amount of compared to Magic within their own space in my office, and not let them spill out. Flesh and blood was all over the place at one point. I couldn't keep track of it. The point I'm getting at is that Gamegenic both sponsor this channel and support me with the content that I make, but also make the best accessories on the market, bar none. There's a reason that Gamegenic is your favorite content creator's favorite accessory product, because they are the best. From sleeves to deck boxes to playmats, they even had all the licensed Spider-Man stuff. They are the best. Gamegenic is available from all good local game stores. Big shout out to Gamegenic for continuing to sponsor and support what I do. So the Monster Hunter Secret Lair dropped, and basically there's a couple of collections of monsters. There's this one that has even a demon dragon, but it's not a demon dragon, it's just a demon. There's this one that has 5 cards, where the other one only had 4. I don't really understand that. There's this one, which is the collection of the Monster Hunters, all non-named, non-legendary creatures, showing off certain hunters in the game, I guess. And then some famous attacks or like calling card elements of monsters. Basically, the card selection isn't great. And what I mean by that is that everyone's upset that the Secret Lairs aren't full of $100 cards. And I'll be honest, I don't really give a shit about that either. Secret Lairs are basically reskins that are there to sort of tickle that itch for you. They aren't for Wizards to sell you $400 worth of cards for 40 bucks. A, they're never going to do that, and B, it's kind of unreasonable to expect that. If anything, due to the FOMO nature of Secret Lairs, I'm kind of okay when the value proposition, the amount of money on the secondary market you're getting for your 40 or 50 pounds in the case of where I live, that isn't so great, is absolutely fine, because it's not forcing you to feel like you're missing out hugely and to pump those FOMO numbers. Now, do any of these monsters fit what they do in the game? I don't fucking know. I don't care about this shit. That's right, there's comedy and being incredibly dismissive about the thing you like. But from the general consensus on Twitter, Blue Sky, Reddit comments, people are not happy. They think everything's kind of missed the mark. Dual-bladed hunter, an agility type weapon that might suggest something like double strike, for instance, is a grand abolisher, a Staxi based card. I saw a Reddit comment explaining that actually in the Japanese translation of dual-bladed hunter, it's like grand hunter, so some sort of like name play somewhere in there, but ultimately in the English name, it just doesn't seem to fit. Fullbow and Warp Ninja on my Discord pointed out that actually Rajang and Tigrex and many others are just completely missing from from the Secret Lair drop. A couple of years back, I played some Monster Hunter, and the thing that jumped out at me from just a couple of hours of playing one of the newer ones was that the game was very loot-centric, a looter RPG style thing, I guess I'd describe it as, and yet there's not a single piece of equipment in any of the Secret Lairs, almost feeling like it's missing a core piece of the game's identity. As far as online memetics and the sort of like wider reaching elements of it too, the cooking has kind of like broken out of containment and bled into other communities, and again, completely missing. Nothing makes a food token, there's no famous food. It's just a bit strange that these things are missing. And to add insult to all of these rather minor injuries, but they all add up, they also managed to misspell one of the central towns, the hub towns from the game. So Champion of Kotoko should be Champion of Kokoto, which, as you can see from the wiki screenshot here, is not how you spell it. Sure, well done. Good quality control there. People are saying they were willing to drop a ton of money on the Secret Lair Monster Hunter stuff because they love Monster Hunter. And in some ways it's good that the Secret Lairs suck because then people don't have to spend the money. Again, I am not a Monster Hunter fan, so I'm just going off the general vibes of the community, but I find this very funny how much of a miss it is. There's always this talk of how universes beyond collaborations with Magic the Gathering are better when they're Magic adjacent. You know, fantasy characters fighting fantasy monsters, which is very Monster Hunter. But this just goes to show that even when you're not making a set, when you aren't struggling to fill the standard set with like 50 Spider-Men, you can still blunder on how you approach a Magic adjacent property by just kind of phoning in the designs and the choices. I've defended Universes Beyond in the past by explaining that I don't really think it's Fortnitification because Magic as a complicated and in-depth rules system allows you to explore worlds in ways that I don't think Fortnite manages to do when it's making Optimus Prime do the floss in front of a Martin Luther King mural. I think that Final Fantasy and Lord of the Rings both engage with their respective intellectual properties through their sets very well. I thought the Warhammer decks were full of flavour and theme that made a hell of a lot of sense with minor missteps. I think the surface level connection is just this, where you have like sort of references that you get, but not references that anyone necessarily even wanted you to make, and references that don't really make sense mechanically. The flavour and the theme is completely incompatible. I say completely, that's a bit of a stretch, but there's a dissonance that makes it feel like what it is, just the reskins of existing play pieces with member berry references that you don't find very interesting or exciting. That said, I can guarantee that reskinning popular and powerful cards would have gone down very differently. If one of these cards was randomly Vistic Study and one of these cards was randomly and more appropriately Ancient Copper Dragon, okay, the former of those two examples is probably a much more apt example, but I'm pretty sure people would have been frothing at the gash, where at the moment they don't give a shit about getting some dragon they'd never heard of and didn't even know existed up until this point. What I'm saying is that power level can do a lot of heavy lifting for the Fortnitification of Magic, but ultimately this is real Fortnitification. This is reskins. This is getting your AR-15 but it's shaped like a dildo because the latest crossover was Bad Dragon. And nowhere is that more apparent than this fucking soul ring. This is the soul ring you get for spending a shit ton of money on the lair. It's the whale sort of bait to make you spend, how much is it now? $100. That's if this is a popular Secret Lair, this might even be sold out by the time you've made your purchase, which is how I got when I bought all the Marvel ones. I got shafted and didn't get my Arcane Signet because they were sold out by the time I made it to checkout. Some might say the current Secret Lair system is complete and utter fucking garbage. But come on, what the actual fuck is this soul ring? It's not a soul ring, it's a dragon. It's a grayscale red cum dragon ejaculating from 3 wing dicks. When it soars in the sky, it may be the last thing you'll ever see, says the flavor text. Sure, it's flying in front of the sun. That doesn't make it a fucking soul ring. What is and isn't a soul ring some might argue I'm making a mountain out of a molehill here, and I kind of am for comedic effect. A soul ring is normally some sort of circular artifact or object that is a source of power or a mainstay important part of the canon of the thing they're referring to. So some really open interpretations, like the soul ring of Fallout was a drawn circle with Nuka-Cola Quantum, a big leap, and I'll be honest, not really a soul ring, but it does give you energy and it is circular. The soul ring of one of the Spider-Man Secret Lairs is his utility belt where he keeps spare web fluid and other forensic gear. It's circular and it's a focal point of Spider-Man's abilities. If anything, it refuels him. It gives him a resource. The Furby Secret Lair one is probably one of the other really egregious ones. Like, it's just a fucking Furby floating in a circle, glowing, its eyes piercing deep into your soul. I don't even know what part. Is this from the fucking encyclopedia? I don't know. This just looks like Captain Olimar's sleep paralysis demon. And the soul ring of the Twisted Metal Secret Lair that I kind of forgot even existed is also pretty egregious, where it's just the car of the character Sweet Tooth from the game, but at least the thing on top of his car is burning, a homage and a reference to the circular burning circlet of original Soul Ring. Still, not really a fucking Soul Ring, is it? It's a car with a burning image motif. But I think this is the most gratuitous. All the others feel like, perhaps other than Spider-Man, that they were art that during the art direction of them was Soul Ring. Someone said we're making this card a very important, powerful artifact that is circular in nature. Hell, even Spider-Man kind of fits that brief, even if it does feel like some asset that they made for something else that got made into Soul Ring further into development when they realized they couldn't possibly do a release without a fucking Soul Ring. This thing ain't a Soul Ring, it's a cunting dragon. It's a fucking dragon doing some sort of weird spell attack thing, which is very not what Soul Ring is. Soul Ring allows you to cast spells and do stuff. It is not ejaculate from the wings of dragon babes. There was a comment I was going to read out verbatim here that I responded to, basically calling the guy an idiot on my short about this, and it appears they deleted the comment after I called them an idiot. Whoops. But their point was that why are we all such idiots? That Magic once upon a time was poker and chess combined, and now we're just drooling morons who can't understand that this is the art depicting a dragon doing an attack that has been powered by a Soul Ring. And the reason this comment really got under my skin and I called the guy or person a fucking idiot was I do really hate this like online persona of being smarter than everyone else. And as you can probably tell from the job that I do in the game that I engage with, that kind of frustration, it gets triggered a lot. The Magic community are real fucking know-it-alls. I should know. I am one. But like acting like you're smarter than everyone else is fucking stupid because everyone else are quite smart. That was a really bad sentence. I think intelligence comes in many, many ways. The way you're practical you are, how organized you are, how good you are with things like math or literacy, speaking out in front of public, or how you write. There's so many different ways to manifest your abilities. Like getting on your fucking high horse about how the game you play used to be a mixture of poker and chess is cringe as fuck. Especially like poker isn't this fucking highbrow intellectual pursuit that you think it is. Furthermore, no card in Magic fucking shows the spell you're casting when the card itself is the mana. Like, even this monstrosity is obviously an object I draw power from, power to fuel demons. By the logic of this, like, smart motherfucker, islands and plains should represent and show on their art wizards casting blue and white spells, but they don't. They're places of power from which the mana is drawn, the surface level connection to the ley lines beneath, you dumb cunt. Oh fuck, during the editing of this, I found the comment I had open in a tab, in amongst my dozens of tabs on one of my Chrome browsers. The dragon is casting a spell based on the mana it drew from the sun behind it. How are you kids this dumb? How did Magic go from poker combined with chess to drooling kids? Oh, you're so fucking smart, aren't you? For making shit up. Anyway, I am fucking crashing out over the Soul Ring thing because it's so fucking funny. And then to have like a Magic player be like, well actually, this thing I made up justifies it. And that's the thing, right? It is justification. This person probably just loves Monster Hunter and they really want to enjoy this thing, but everyone is yucking their yum because realistically, even the Monster Hunter fans think these secret lairs suck ass. When Universes Beyond is such a controversial thing amongst the community anyway, this is how you do not win people over. By creating secret lairs that even, or Universes Beyond more accurately, Universes Beyond that even the fans cannot defend because there's so many weird choices. It does feel like this secret lair, especially the Soul Ring, are art choices that were slapped on cards much later than they should have been, that things weren't planned out ahead, that things weren't commissioned with the cards in mind. I also hate this fucking trend of putting a Soul Ring in everything. Like, we don't need this many Soul Rings. I know it's the iconic poster child of EDH, and that is basically the forefront identity of Magic now. I get that. But when you're only going to make like 15 cards for Universes Beyond crossover, then move on, does one of every fucking 15 have to be a Soul Ring? I get if you're doing like all the staples for that, like you do with the precons for like Fallout and Warhammer and similar similar. I get that. But here you've got a Monster Hunter Soul Ring, you've got a Monster Hunter Arcane Signet or Command Tower. Although if they ate up 3 out of the 15 or 20 slots with 3 of those things, that'd even be more annoying. And it'd be even funnier, right? Because I imagine an Arcane Signet was just a dragon doing a shit, and a Command Tower is a dragon just like, you know, sucking on its own chode. This is not a Soul Ring, and these Secret Lairs seem to suck. And the funny thing is, it's not, I like the amusement in it, but if this was like a Secret Lair for something that I would really like. So for example, when it comes to Capcom, I would like to see Mega Man. Perhaps I wouldn't buy into it, but it's always a character that I've quite liked in Smash, for example. And so I'd love to see a Mega Man card that I can play with. I'm not care about the rest of the Secret Lair. But beyond that, some Resi Secret Lairs for like 4, after the old ones, like 1 and 2 as well. Seeing Secret Lairs for those would be really hype. And I think it'd be really funny if like the Secret Lairs for Resi had a Soul Ring in them, and the Soul Ring was just like the liquor tongue in its arsehole. That's all I've got for this one. I've been Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you like Gamegenic products, why don't you comment down below telling me how much you like Gamegenic products? And that can show Gamegenic how much you like Gamegenic products by showing them some of the comments where you talk about how much you like Gamegenic products. I've been Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet, and this has been brought to you, this video, not this itself, this is the thing bringing it to you. This video has been brought to you by Gamegenic products. Ta-ta for now, dickheads.